Let me tell you how it all went down because you're not going to believe how far some people will go to try and take what's not theirs. And how sweet it feels after months of hell to finally see karma show up with handcuffs and a news crew. It started at 6 a.m., me walking out to my own water valve on my own 40-acre ranch, just part of my morning routine. Not 10 seconds after I twist that handle shut, the neighbor from hell, let's just call her Delilah, comes bursting out her front door, hair still full of shampoo, bathrobe flapping wide open, screeching bloody murder. You cut my water. Call 911. Right now, he's sabotaging the neighborhood. She's got soap running into her eyes, dialing the cops on me for touching equipment that sits on land my family's owned since the late 60s. Now, if you're wondering how the heck my shutting off my water could mess with her shower, well, here's the punchline. When her ex-husband built that little slice of Whispering Oaks paradise next door, he did it cheap, skipped proper water lines, piggybacked a shared pressure system off the original easement running along my border. So when I flipped to my private, well, the whole subdivision lost water pressure. Legal, absolutely. My grandpa's water rights go back 60 years before anyone ever poured a driveway in her fancy cul-de-sac. But of course nobody bothered to tell Delilah that when she bought her marble palace. So 20 minutes later, I'm standing in my driveway surrounded by 3 deputies with hands on their holsters treating me like I'd hijacked the city's reservoir. Delilah's screaming at them about property values and sabotage, soaking wet and foaming at the mouth. I'm trying not to laugh. Lucky for me, my security cameras are catching everything in glorious 4K, the cops, the screaming, her meltdown. That footage is about to become the best insurance policy I ever bought. Let me back up a little. I'm Jackson, retired Navy engineer, 26 years working on nuclear submarines. Grandpa left me this place, 40 acres. Mineral rights, water rights, you name it. He built every structure here with his own hands, dug the well, ran the lines, even restored tractors until he was 85. It's the kind of place that smells like old hay diesel and freedom. And then came California. Developer buys the land next door, throws up these monstrous McMansions, and next thing I know, Delilah Thornfield, fresh off a Silicon Valley divorce and armed with a stack of alimony money, shows up to live the ranch life. Within 3 months, she's HOA president, determined to clean up everything that makes my land look well like a ranch. First thing she does, sends me a complaint letter right there with my morning coffee saying my horses and chickens are incompatible with the residential character of the area. Never mind, my family's been running livestock here since before her subdivision was even a field. Next, property taxes skyrocket nearly 7 times higher thanks to their community pond and decorative lighting. I'm suddenly paying for things I never wanted, never voted for, and can't even use. Delilah isn't done, not by a long shot. She starts in about my workshop too noisy, my pickup too rusty, the fence too rustic. Every week another complaint, always with the same ultimatum: join the HOA or she'll find a way to force me in. But the breaking point. When the county inspector shows up to investigate my unsanitary livestock. Marcus, good man, finds my horses are healthier than most people in that subdivision. He warns me though, Jackson, that woman files more complaints in a week than most folks do in a lifetime. Watch your back. Her next move is straight-up war files, a petition to fold my land into HOA jurisdiction with water restrictions attached to 60% cut or else. She even delivers the letter herself, heels crunching over my gravel like she owns the place. That's when I knew she picked the wrong guy. So what's Delilah do next? Hires a private investigator to stake out my property. I'm out mending fence posts and there's some dude in khakis snapping photos of my horses drinking. He acts like he's uncovered a smuggling ring. She files a formal complaint, says I'm running illegal commercial irrigation, hoarding water, and breaking drought restrictions. The county launches an investigation and I know I have to get smart fast. That's when my Navy training kicks in. Document everything. I spend a weekend buried in the county courthouse basement sifting through old deeds and survey maps. And what do I find? My water rights don't just predate her subdivision. They predate Texas statehood. Original Spanish land grant, 1847. In Texas, you own the dirt, you own the water, nobody can touch that. To nail it down, I hired Jake, 30 years surveying Texas dirt. He discovers their pride and joy koi pond sits 3 feet onto my property. HOAs using my land and my water never paid a cent. So I file a trespass complaint and send Delilah a bill for back rent, complete with a water usage analysis showing her pond gulps more water in a month than my horses use all year. But here's the twist. County records show the developer is Delilah's ex-husband. Same guy who cut the water corners is now building HOA features on land they don't own using water rights they never had. Pattern starts to look real familiar. By the time Delilah gets my certified letter, the wheels start coming off. She responds with a cease and desist, threatens lawsuits for defamation and emotional distress, but in her letter she admits the pond was grandfathered in. That's not a denial, that's a confession. I sit back, drink a cold beer, and wait. Next, she rallies the neighbors to file a joint nuisance lawsuit, alleging my workshop is industrial noise pollution, demands a court order to shut me down. Their expert claims I violate noise ordinances, but here's the kicker. My workshop was built in 1967, and the noise ordinances came years later, grandfathered in. She never disclosed the zoning conflicts to buyers, which is real estate fraud. I start making calls to Subdivision residents, and turns out half had no clue they were living next to protected industrial zoning. I file a complaint with the State Real Estate Commission and reach out to all the buyers offer to buy back their lots at fair market value minus losses from the undisclosed zoning. That same night, Clarence Webb, the retired attorney from down the lane, shows up on my porch with bourbon and a fat folder of documents. He's been documenting Delilah's harassment recordings, emails, you name it. Turns out she threatened to block his grandson's Eagle Scout project unless he signed a petition against me. Clarence lays it all out: witness coercion, bribery, and conspiracy. That lawsuit legally worthless now. Plus, systematic harassment of a veteran. That's a federal civil rights violation. The leverage is real, and Delilah's phone starts ringing off the hook with angry neighbors wanting answers. If you think she's done, guess again. She pulls in the city council, claims my water valve is accessible from a public easement, accuses me of violating emergency drought restrictions. Gets a court order mandating a 70% cut in water use targeting non-essential irrigation and livestock. Here's the twist: I was already planning to switch fully to my private well. So I comply. Turn off city water document, everything, keep my ranch running on my own system, 100% legal. Delilah, of course, assumes I'm breaking the order when she sees sprinklers running in troughs full. Doesn't even bother to ask. Just calls 911, claims I'm stealing municipal water. Sheriff and the county inspector show up. I walk them through the whole setup, show the closed city valve paperwork dating to 1967. Everything checks out. But their body cams record Delilah making up false claims, caught in the act. That's when I start building my own federal case. File a complaint, gather the 911 tapes, body cam footage, and then I call Sarah Palmer, investigative journalist who specializes in HOA corruption. I hand her hours of video evidence, and her excitement is contagious. She uncovers Delilah's pattern across 3 states, same scam, different LLCs, always preying on veterans and rural landowners. As we dig deeper, Clarence discovers the HOA has been pocketing federal conservation grants, claiming access to water rights on my land. The developer's company filed insurance claims for water damage that never happened, all documented in glorious high def. The real fun comes at the town water conservation meeting. Delilah's on stage boasting about her success, completely unaware her confession and false reports are queued up for the projector. The FBI's in the back row waiting. When I present the footage, the room goes dead quiet. Her lies, her coordination, the fraud, it's all there for everyone to see. The FBI arrests Delilah and her ex-husband right there, with news cameras rolling and a packed house watching every second. Turns out she's been running a statewide network of conservation grant fraud targeting landowners and weaponizing HOA rules to try and seize property. 6 months later, Delilah's sitting in federal prison. The HOA is dissolved. The subdivision votes to rebuild as a real neighborhood, not a dictatorship. My property becomes a teaching site for veterans and students, with sustainable water management tours and school field trips. That $400,000 settlement used it to restore Grandpa's barn and build a program helping other vets fight HOA abuse. You want to know the lesson in all this? Always document everything, install cameras, learn your rights, and never, ever underestimate how far some folks will go to try and control their neighbors. But also never underestimate what happens when you fight back with the truth. Now let me ask you, what's the worst thing an HOA or a power-hungry neighbor has ever pulled on you? Drop your stories below. And if you like seeing these busybodies get exactly what's coming to them, stick around, because next time I'll tell you about the great tree law fiasco. Trust me, you haven't seen karma until you've seen someone try to steal a live oak.